All right, welcome. So, is mental health really that important? And the short answer is yes. Yes, it is. It is very important. And that's why you clicked on this video, because you know that. And why is it so important? It's just because that everything is created and everything within our reality is derived from the mind, is derived from the mental space first. Mental environment creates what's reflected in our physical environment. And so the mind and the health of our mind is very, very important because it determines our reality. It determines what we experience out here, right? And so learning to cultivate a healthy mental environment is key in any type of success, right? So before we actually get started with the contents of the video, I want you to go down to the description, check out that first link, and go and click on that other first link that is my Skool community. Hey, oh wait, I don't have to tell you. Yeah, redo the sale. So basically just cut after I finish talking and right before I say before we start the video. So before we start the video, I just want to quickly announce, you guys can go down to the description and join my free Skool community. I have a free Skool community up there, and you can also book one-on-one, one-time coaching calls with me. If you go and you check out that link in the description. So the first thing will be that Skool community you can join for completely free, and I'll work with you one-on-one within that Skool community, and you can also access all of my full courses and full guides. So let's get into the video. I'm not going to keep you here talking about my community and stuff. So why you can't work towards your goals. So why it's a struggle for you to actually make progress towards your goals, why it's a struggle for you to actually work and put in effort towards your goals, right? And get there, right? And actually like make progress, like get forward momentum towards those goals. It's not so much about doing the work, but actually that work creating a sense of momentum, right? So when you have bad mental health, it is very hard to make progress, right? For a couple of reasons. You will be limited in your ability to make progress simply because your belief system doesn't allow you to actually move past it, right? So if your belief system and your bad mental health doesn't allow you to see yourself on a higher level, you won't be able to reach that higher level. It will be virtually impossible for you to actually get to that level if you do not see or you cannot perceive within your mind yourself being there already, right? And so the other reason is that if our mental health is poor, we cannot really produce quality work. We cannot sit down and focus, and we cannot sit down and actually create and produce real quality work, right? And the same thing with fitness, right? We cannot get into our fitness journey and create real lasting change with our body if we do not actually cultivate good mental health first, right? And not even first, right? Period. Right? You could work on fitness first, and that's why I corrected myself. You could work on fitness first to cultivate healthier mental health, but don't expect to make a ton of progress in fitness until you've made that progress in your mental health first. And so what will happen is if you start training and you start working out, what's first going to happen is that your mental health starts to get better so that you can start to view yourself and see yourself better. You can see yourself getting to a higher level, right? And the moment that happens is the moment you will start making real progress in your fitness, right? So the next thing is hard work. When we're doing real hard work, we can't sit down and focus on hard work and really push through that hard work if our mind can't even handle the stress, right? To really do hard work, we have to be able to take on the stress of the work and then continue to observe and continue to push through until we can find the solution, create the solution, find the solution to the problem, fix the problem. We can't do this though if our mind cannot handle the stress. If our mind cannot take that level of stress, then we will be unable to actually produce the outcome that will cause a solution to the problem, right? And then the importance of self-belief. So self-belief itself will determine whether you make it or not, right? And that may seem like a far-fetched statement, but self-belief in and of itself will determine whether you make it or whether you fail. Because if you believe that you can get to where you want to go, like let's say you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, if you believe that you can make 10K a month, let's use that number. If you believe you can make 10K a month, then it will be actually genuinely possible for you to make 10K a month. Why? Because you believe you can get there, and that belief is what will drive you to continue moving forward even when things start to come into your face that make you doubt it, right? Things will hit you that will make you doubt it, right? Things will hit you that will make you see that, like, this isn't my reality right now. And so for those who have self-belief, they can push through because they know that they will get to the other side. Those who do not have self-belief will fail the moment that there is a situation that comes to them that shows them an example of how they aren't quite fit to get there yet. Those with bad mental health, those with low self-belief will fail and give up in that moment because they feel that that is a sign that they are not worthy, rather than those who have the self-belief will view that as a challenge and the opportunity to get to where they want to go. And so the fix. What is the fix? What is the solution, right? And so the real fix is that there is no easy fix, right? There is actually no easy fix to mental health. And this is because mental health is caused by us ignoring the problems, right? Bad mental health is caused by us looking away, right? Running away or ignoring our real problems, our real issues in life. And so the reason I say there's no easy fix is because the only easy fix is to face those problems, is to actually stop ignoring the things that we're hiding from and start to face them, start to embrace them, and start to overcome these challenges, right? Because by overcoming these challenges, we actually make better mental health for ourselves, because we are not still putting that stress and that burden on our minds of having these problems that we're ignoring. Because when we ignore problems, they don't go anywhere. They stay there. They amplify. They multiply, right? So the moment we start facing those problems and start overcoming those problems, we will start to heal the mind, right? We will start to cultivate and create better mental health, right? And another thing is that we have bad mental health because we have low self-belief. We believe that we aren't worthy of something. And so by facing those problems, we prove to ourselves that we actually are, that we are capable, that we are worthy, that we can achieve whatever it is we like to achieve. So that gives us the ability to cultivate better mental health by directly facing the cause of it, by directly going into the root of it. So another thing you can do is actually journaling, right? If you journal, you can help to find that root, right? So if you journal and allow the mind to just speak, right? Allow the mind to just put all of its thoughts right onto paper, right? You can start to dig deep into what is actually causing this mental pain, right? And once you can understand it, just as I was talking about with facing the problems, once you can see the actual root of the problem, once you know what it is, then you can solve it, then you can overcome it, then you can take on that challenge, and by overcoming it, you will allow yourself to actually move forward and move on with better mental health, healing the mind, healing the mental space, healing the mental environment. And so journaling is going to be your key to finding these challenges, or the root of the problem that you actually have to go in and overcome. So another thing that you can do, it's similar to journaling, is conversations with yourself, right? If you just talk to yourself about the thing that's genuinely bothering you, that's genuinely on your mind, that's causing all of this mental stress, right? If you just have a genuine, open conversation with yourself, like talking out loud, back and forth, right? You can kind of imagine that one perspective is your mind talking and one is you as the consciousness, right? And so you can basically talk back and forth with yourself, have these conversations with yourself in order to really fully understand your mind, understand and fully understand the nature of your mind and how it works and how it operates, right? And you can also start to really heal yourself this way, because for those who have defined throat chakras, right, we can actually speak into existence the things that we want. So if we are speaking into existence the fact that maybe the mind's doubts aren't very accurate, this will actually set it into our subconscious, because we are speaking it and expressing it outwards. So it sets it into the subconscious and actually allows the brain to fully absorb and change, right? And so for some people, this will be journaling that they get this from, where it fully sets in. Some people, it will be speaking out loud, right? There could be other things as well. Some people, it could be thinking, for example. But whatever it is, right, what we're trying to do is basically understand ourselves through open conversation, right? And so another thing is meditation, right? So we can do meditation to observe the mind and actually clear out all of the bullshit thoughts of the mind, right? And actually start to dissolve all of the extra shit in the mind, return it back to raw consciousness so that we can become more aware, right? And then that level of awareness will allow us to observe the mind fully. And in observing the mind, we can destroy the egos that are causing this bad mental health, right? And just by becoming more present, we get better mental health, because one reason that our mental health isn't the greatest is because of how much time we actually just spend in the mind. If we would just spend more time in the present moment than in the mind, most of us, not all of us, but most of us, our mental health issues would pretty much go away completely, because the mental health issues are caused by us overworking the mind and overemphasizing the process of the mind, right? The mind is processing information, it's processing stress, it is processing problems, it is processing solutions, right? But if we're in the mind constantly trying to almost nitpick at every little thing that's going through the mind, we are getting in the way of this process. And so by getting in the way of this process, we cause more problems than we solve, causing bad mental health, right? Because if we are processing information and we don't allow the brain to do so before we involve ourselves, right? Involve our consciousness and our awareness, we can start to confuse the mind. We can start to create more stress, more of a burden, right? The mind becomes more backed up, right? And so we kind of just create more stress on the mind. We give it like this inability to fully process the information properly. And then it's kind of like going over the information over and over again because it somehow thinks something's wrong, because you've like stated that something's wrong, like, no, we don't want this, right? Even though the brain is just processing information, it basically just backs everything up, right? And backing everything up, the brain kind of gets stuck. It's like a cog in the wheel. And then it can't really process everything fully. And so meditation, what it does is it allows us to get out of the mind and allow the mind time to fully process what it needs to process. And then we can go in the mind and use it as it should be used, as a tool. And we can also observe the mind and its processes. And so the last thing, this one might sound cliche, but love, right? So this sounds like common sense. This should be common sense for most people. But if we have really bad mental health, love. What else would there be? Like, what else would there be to do in that situation, right? Whether that's loving yourself, whether that's being with somebody that you love or that loves you, right? Whether that's giving love or whether that's receiving love. Love in general is kind of like a magic fix, right? It's a magic cure, at least for mental health, especially for mental health, rather. It basically just reminds us that we are whole. It reminds us that we are complete. It is the feeling of being fully complete, right? And love itself is a very hard thing to describe with a human understanding. But one of the best ways to understand it is actually observation itself, right? So observation is love, right? Observing, seeing somebody for who they are, that's love, right? So seeing yourself for who you are, that would be self-love, right? Really fully seeing who you are, that is a form of self-love. Why? Because awareness itself is the only way that we can overcome a problem, right? So being aware of what's wrong is the only thing that we can do about it. Because we are the consciousness, we are not the body, we are not the brain. These things need to do the process on their own, and we need to be the awareness. We need to see so that we know what direction to guide the body and brain to, right? And so love itself is kind of just observation, being able to observe, to fully see somebody for who they are, fully see yourself for who you are, right? And that's your good and your bad, right? One of the reasons your mental health is so bad is because you have so much self-doubt. But if you fully see yourself, you will see that you're stronger than you think, right? Just trying to overcome the mental health because of the strength of the mind, because of the intellect of the mind, this in and of itself is virtuous. Just trying to overcome it is virtuous, right? That takes effort, that takes work, right? So like I'm saying, if you would look, you would see that you are doing better than you actually think you are. And being able to fully see that, and also being able to fully see the reality of your failures for what they are, rather than overemphasizing them and amplifying them within the mind, right? Seeing all of this for what it truly is will allow you to overcome this bad mental health, because seeing that you aren't doing as bad as you think and seeing that you may be doing a little better than you think both of which will actually help you to relax and calm down and essentially quiet the mind, quiet the stress, right? Because the mind is just doubting. The mind is just scared. It is afraid, right? So we are quieting the mind down. So the last thing that I have to talk about is actually a specific topic. So I'm going to be making a lot of content on semen retention moving forward. One thing I want to talk about, though, is actually release itself and why it creates mental health issues. So the nature of orgasm, when we release our sexual energy, we are releasing our sexual, spiritual, and life force energy, right? So the sexual energy isn't just lust. It isn't just desire. It is something much, much deeper than that. It is the energy that creates life itself. And so our life force, our energy, our soul's energy, right? This is stored in our sexual energy. We as humans have failed at this mission horribly, but one of our main missions on this planet, one of the main things that we're here to do with these bodies is protect and nurture and cultivate the power of this sexual energy, the power of your semen, right? And you can only do so by holding it within you and sublimating it, or transmuting it, rather. But orgasm is a buildup of the sexual energy, a buildup of the sexual forces to a point that it overloads the system in one area. Instead of being circulated through the whole body, it is focused in one area, in the genitals, and it eventually overloads the circuit and explodes. And the circuit breaker blows, essentially, and the energy is released. And that's what release is. It is the release of the energy after the circuits blow, right? After the circuits break from being overloaded too much. And so this release of energy, it feels amazing because it is an indulgence in our true being, in our full essence, in our full energy, the full reality of who we are. But it is only concentrated in one small area of our body and then released outwards. So we actually lose it. But what we can do instead is we can actually sublimate this energy, transmute this energy, and circulate it through our whole body. So not only do we feel that orgasmic energy through our entire body, but we actually, over time, will feel it amplify and get stronger over time. It will become more potent as time goes on. But orgasm is a sin against yourself. It is an act against yourself because you are indulging in yourself, right? You're indulging in your own energy and your own being, but you're also losing it, so therefore killing yourself at the same time. And so this naturally causes horrible mental health because even if we aren't consciously aware of it, we know what we are doing. We know that we are slowly killing ourselves by making this choice, by taking this action, whether we feel in control of it or not, whether it feels like it should be natural or not, right? We know deep down that this is something that is killing us. And so that in and of itself creates this horrible mental environment, this horrible mental health, this horrible view of yourself and who you are, right? And this horrible wiring of what pleasure is as well. We seek instant pleasure now, even at the cost of ourselves, right? And this started and was derived from that original sin against ourselves, which is orgasm. And so orgasm itself is going to cause this mental health struggle, right? Not to mention lust, right? So orgasm is orgasm is always driven by lust. Orgasm is created by lust, right? So if we are watching porn, for example, or we are with a woman that we do not truly love, or even if we are with a woman we love, but we are indulging in her out of lust, indulging in her out of desire for self-gratification, right? Lust itself also damages the mind. It also creates unhealthy mental health, right? Unhealthy mental health, an unhealthy mental environment, rather. And this is because lust, this desire for more, right? The more we have this desire, the more we lust, so the more we want more, right? And the more we give into that desire, right? The more we go after that thing we crave, the more lust we have, the more craving we have, the more desire we have. And so in desiring, we do not have. And so the mind is constantly in a state of wanting more than it has, no matter how much it actually has. And this causes that bad mental health. This causes feeling dread almost all the time because you constantly want more than you can have, right? Because you're constantly lusting, you're constantly craving, you have an uncontrollable desire to have more, right? But you can't have more. You can't go after more. You can't get more because more doesn't exist, right? Lust is the end of the road, right? Desiring this and craving this is the end of the road, right? No matter what you are lusting over, you will not actually receive it in lust, right? For most people, if it's sexual, if you are lusting over a woman and sex, you will not actually find the fulfillment, the satisfaction in sex if you are lusting, right? But if you give up that lust, if you drop that lust and you go for love instead, if you embrace love over lust and kill lust as a result, kill lust and embrace love instead, right? You will not only be able to have sex in a satisfying way, in a way that is fully satisfying for the body, but you also clear the mind of all of its craving for more. It finally feels comfortable, fulfilled, and it has everything it needs. And so you can heal that mental health, right? You won't feel like you need more all the time, right? Your brain will feel whole and complete as it is. And this is what good mental health feels like, because that's what good mental health is, right? And so the moment that we can start to learn to kill lust, and I will be making a lot of content moving forward, and you should read my ebook as well. But you can learn to overcome and destroy and dissolve and kill lust and transmute that energy, that sexual energy that is yours, right? That is actually being taken from you by lust. You can take that sexual energy back and you can use it for whatever you want. If you apply it to something that's really valuable for you and meaningful to you, all the better when it comes to mental health, right? Because if you build something that actually matters to you, your mental health will also get better. And so semen retention itself is an essential practice, period, end of story, no matter what you are pursuing, right? Especially for mental health, right? Semen retention is an essential practice for mental health. If you want a healthy mind, you need to be retaining the sexual energy, the semen, right? Not only does the semen hydrate and give nutrients to the mind, right? The CSF is derived from the semen, but also having that energy, having a complete hold on your being, your vessel, right? This allows you to have better mental health because you actually have full control. The moment the mind comes to you with something that is a problem, it's not going to cause stress within the mind that sits there. It's going to be something you address because you're aware, you are in control, you are there. When you're constantly releasing yourself, you don't have the power, you don't have the energy, you don't have the level of control over yourself to actually do anything about the situation. So because you can't do anything, your mind just allows it to be, but it sits in that pain, right? And it doesn't want to put forth that effort. But when you retain semen, that effort becomes easy and almost effortless, right? It becomes very easy to change because there's more energy available. There's more of you available to actually create change, right? And so if you want to cultivate better mental health, you need to start by retaining the semen. Well, you can start with any of the practices that I talked about, but if you are not doing semen retention, you should not expect your mental health to get better fast, right? It might take a lot of time because naturally when we are releasing the semen, we cannot have a healthy mind because we know deep down what we are doing. And semen retention itself is an essential practice in any type of success. We want to build anything. We need our essence. We need our solar spiritual energy, right? We need our life force energy in order to build something, in order to create something. We are not creating a life in the sexual sense that we are having a physical baby, but we are creating a life in the sense that we are transforming ourselves, right, into the type of person that can create a business, that can be an athlete, that can have good mental health, right? And so semen retention is an essential practice for all of these things. So that's why I will be making more content on semen retention, and you'll see that. But also go read my book, right? Go in the description, click on that link, and scroll down to Sexual Energy Mastery, right? I have one book there right now, but there's going to be more up very soon. But go and buy that first book, right? It's a full overview on semen retention, what it is, and then how you can utilize it. But yeah, so that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video and you want more content on self-improvement and self-development, you can go and press the subscribe button. And if you are still watching, go and book a call and make sure you join that free Skool community. But anyways, that's it from me. I'm out. Peace.